Do you want to know what really grinds my gears? Manipulation. What's up, YouTube? I am back. I know I haven't made a proper video in 2 weeks, but you also gotta know that I'm a busy person. I have stuff to do. I've been working on a couple of video ideas that are in the making, so stay tuned for an update video. I will be telling you all about it, and even a giveaway that I could be having very soon. But I need to get up to that 50 subscriber mark, and once I do, I can start giving away things, start focusing on my fans more and on the fan base. Anyways, it's time to get serious in this video. This video is a new segment called What Grinds My Gears. Yes, that's Family Guy reference to that episode where Peter was doing the What Grinds My Gears. But I'm just gonna give you my opinion on something that is a huge topic and a huge thing to me, and I just find it so confusing how easily people fall into this and get into this category. So make sure you like this video if you can agree with what I'm talking about. Today I want to talk about emotional manipulation in general, how people are able to be manipulated not only by their family, their friends, their peers, their teachers, all the different types of manipulation. Now, what you gotta know is we all do get manipulated, and we all manipulate people sometimes. Sometimes we don't do it with the intention to screw over somebody else, and sometimes we do. Let's be realistic. We are selfish human beings. I'm selfish. Everybody's selfish in their own way. We can be selfless. We can be caring, but we're all sort of selfish in our own way. Anyways, the first type of manipulation I'll talk about is when you're manipulating somebody emotionally. So what I mean by emotional manipulation is you are taking somebody's ability to empathize, somebody's ability to understand where you're coming from and feel sorry for you, and use that for your own personal gain. And what I mean is, okay, so let's say that you are talking to somebody in the respect that you really like them and they really like you, and you guys are thinking about dating, you guys are thinking about being together. A lot of times, people who are scared of getting hurt, they will tell the person they're afraid of getting hurt. They're afraid of losing the person that they love and of getting cheated on because of the fact that, you know, they have gotten hurt in the past, or they know people that have gotten hurt in the past. Now, this is just one type of emotional manipulation, but I hate it because if I do that to a girl, a lot of times she'll laugh at me, like, or at least be like, really, this guy got hurt? Because it's very feminine, it's very weak to be manipulated and lied to and cheated on by people. So that's why a lot of guys that do get cheated on, that do get hurt by a girl, they don't usually they don't usually tell everybody, they're not usually open about it. They don't usually show that they did get hurt. They don't want to show vulnerability. Just like some females, when they are getting to know a new guy after being in a terrible relationship, or they got abused, or they got cheated on, or they got lied to, or something, they tend to have their guard up, have their shield up, and they tend to either take it really, really slow with the guy, or not actually give him a chance because she's scared of getting hurt. Now, I understand where you're coming from when you do get hurt, and when you get lied to, and when you get rejected, when you get actually physically abused too. But what we gotta realize is you can't manipulate somebody for your own personal gain and expect everybody to just be okay with it. Now, I know as a guy that if I'm getting to know a girl and we're talking and she's afraid of me cheating on her, what you gotta do is, instead of just not getting to know me or not talking to me, get to know me, get to know my personality, get to know the aspect of me that make me a good person or that make me a bad person, so then you know whether or not there's a likelihood of me cheating on you. You can be like, everybody's capable of it. Yes, everybody is, but not everybody does. You know, it's not something very simple. It's not something very obvious. You gotta remember that this is not something that everybody's trying to play with your emotions. And you can't play with somebody's emotions or play with somebody's belief in themselves or belief in relationships because you're afraid. Being afraid is normal. It's okay to be afraid. But the whole point of taking chances, whether it's taking a job that you always wanted but it's way far from your family, or whether it's jumping into a relationship, whether it's getting married, all that stuff, those are opportunities that come along. And if you don't take them, you probably will regret them. Now, at the end of the day, regret is something that trumps fear a lot. So, a lot of times we tend to jump into things, and that's why we end up getting hurt. But that's why I say, take the time to get to know somebody in that aspect, like I said. But emotional manipulation, it appears for a lot of other things too. Do you want to know what drives my gears? Manipulation. For instance, emotional manipulation occurs when your family member is in need of service, or your family member is in need of financial help or financial gain, and instead of them, trying to make money in some certain way, they come to you and they ask you for money, and they try to use a sob story, or they try to say, hey man, if you needed money, I would give you it. I would do whatever I can to help you and stuff like that. It's easy to say this stuff. It's easy to say, oh, I'm good for it. I'll pay you back, or you love me or something. It's easy to manipulate somebody using their emotions, using their humanity, using their idea of wanting to be a good person. Because let's be realistic, we all do incredibly selfish things in life. But the difference between incredibly selfish people and sort of selfish people are sort of selfish people actually can put aside their selfish beliefs, their desires to give to the needs of other people. Now, you might be like, oh, not everybody's selfish, not everybody's not super rude or selfish. But what you gotta remember is that we all are at times, and we all are at aspects. Let's be realistic. I'm somebody where I'm really, really nice to people, and I tend to help a lot of people out. But when I get screwed over and over again, it really pisses me off. It really just annoys me, and it just makes me think like, wow, what is wrong? What did I do? Why am I the one being used and manipulated? Sometimes we get hurt by our family members or our friends or somebody we're dating. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember that you chose to trust that person, and that was your choice. It was selfish of you to think that this person, just because they are supposed to care about you, are going to do something for you. Not everybody's like that. Emotional manipulation. Finally, I just want to say things about manipulation that really, really annoy me, that really piss me off, that really grind my gear, whatever you want to say. Things that really annoy me that people do when they manipulate other people is they manipulate other people, they don't feel bad about it, and then they say, oh, you would have done the same thing. Well, how do you know? How do you know that somebody's going to do the same thing? At the end of the day, if you ask somebody for money and you don't pay them back for it, they expect you to pay them back because it's an obligation. Morally speaking, you should, because you should be equal in whatever partnership, relationship, or whatever. That's why people sue each other. That's why best friends get into fights. Because it's like, I gave you $20 a week ago, you haven't paid me back yet. Well, why do I have to pay you back? Well, think about it for a second. They gave you money out of their own goodness of their heart. So you probably, morally speaking, you should give to them. But here's the thing. If you are going to give somebody money, or if you are going to use something or somebody's and give it back after, you gotta tell them that you're going to. You gotta make sure that that is an agreement, that that's the whole agreement, the whole process, the whole trial, the whole situation, the whole contract. Because at the end of the day, if I give you money and we never said, oh, it's okay, pay me back next week or something, then how am I going to be able to say, oh, I need you to pay me back, I need some money? Because at the end of the day, if you don't pay me back, I didn't tell you to pay me back. I didn't tell you that I need the money for next week or something. So at the end of the day, if you're going to give somebody something, if you're going to help out somebody, just tell them. Talk to them. That's another thing that's really going to help you with manipulation. Another thing about manipulation that is really, really annoying, is really pissing me off, is using your assets, whether they're your intelligence or your appearance or your really good physical or athletic abilities, or the fact that you think you're just stronger than a person based off of observation. At the end of the day, you can outsmart somebody who's stronger than you. You really and truly just have to make sure you use your abilities, your strengths to your advantage. That's why manipulation really doesn't work for everybody. Because like someone like me, I can't manipulate somebody if I don't feel strongly about myself enough to do that. If I'm trying to talk to a girl, I can't manipulate a girl with my words if what I'm saying I don't believe. So that's why for a lot of guys who do manipulate girls in that sense, what they're saying is what they believe. They're telling themselves that is what they believe. And even though they may not actually mean it, they're saying it like they do because they know that that's what you want to hear. So at the end of the day, be careful, listen, learn, get to know people. Don't be an ignorant person and just jump into something with somebody, or don't push somebody completely away because you're afraid. Being afraid is a part of life. It's something that you have to get over. If you want to grow as a person, you have to be able to take on new experiences and have them help you, have them help you learn, have them help you how to grow. So at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to make you a better person. Here's the fact of the matter. I don't know everything there is to know about life. I don't know everything there is to know about manipulation. But what I do know is from my experiences, from observations, and from situations that I've been in. I've been manipulated, especially emotionally manipulated. I've been lied to and stuff like that before. Heck, I've done that to people. I'm not proud of it, but I've done it before. At the end of the day, it's easy to say, I'm a good person. But really and truly, if you are a good person, you don't need to say it. You don't. Honestly, ask yourself, am I actually a good person? Do I do nice things to people because I feel like I need to? Or do I do nice things to people because out of the goodness of my heart? If you can honestly answer that and say it's from the goodness of your heart, then you are a pretty selfless person at times. That doesn't mean you're a completely selfish person. You're still selfish at the end of the day. Because really truly think about it. You're doing nice things for the sake of doing nice things so you can say you did. You know how selfish that is? That's incredibly selfish, actually. It's like people that give to charity. They give to charity so they can say they give to charity. Think about that for a second. Rich people, they do that so then they don't feel bad. They don't feel like they're completely selfish. They don't look friggin' ignorant and selfless like that, It's something that you really think about when you're in that situation. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be famous. But everybody wants to be rich and famous for their own personal gain. A lot of times, you have to be like, oh, what are you going to do with $1 million? Well, I give some of that to my family, and I use some of that to buy a house, and all that stuff. A lot of that stuff is selfish. A lot of it is. Like, repaying your family for them giving you service for years and years and years, that's selfish. But at the end of the day, going out of your way to do that for your family is still selfless, but it's all selfish at the same time. It's a very gray area. It's very not black and white. It's not good. It's not bad. It's very in the middle. That's also something that Humble Poet says in his videos. You should go watch 50 Shades of Grey. It's a very good video by Humble Poet. It's very true also. You gotta remember at the end of the day though, love yourself. Love who you are. And what grinds your gears? Tell me in the comments below. I want to know what else. So then I can do another video next week. Another video the week after on what really grinds my gears. This is the first video in what grinds my gears. And you gotta remember, if something is pissing you off, put it in the comments. And then maybe I'll do a video on it. At the end of the day, you gotta love everybody the same way that you do yourself. And you'll be a better person because of it. Peace.